The centerpiece of Newground is a fellows program where participants, an equal mix of around 20 Jews and Muslims, come to know each other and work in their community together over 10 months. Their approach differs from previous eras of interreligious work. They don't immediately leap to commonalities. They understand conflict as part of relationship.
We really believe that conflict is actually really healthy in terms of moving people and relationships and societies forward.
You don't have to give up who you are in order to embrace somebody else. And I think that's actually probably one of the strongest lessons we've learned through Newground, is that you don't have to be giving up anything about being Palestinian or about being Muslim in order to engage in this conflict. Instead, it's actually about being able to share your identity in a very succinct and truthful way.
My aha moment was definitely realizing how easy it was to talk to people outside of the sessions, especially. It was so simple to sit down and talk to someone about my experiences and our lives.
But besides discussing the occupation, discussing how I came to have the views I have today as an American Jew, my views have changed a lot. So discussing all the different nuances of my views and the process in which I've come to have the views I have was difficult, more so because I've never really explained that to anyone, and so it was a new experience articulating that process.
The fact that the anti-Semitism and Islamophobia segments were so similar, it seemed like we're kind of all dealing with the same issues, and those issues are ignorance and assumption and hate.
The sessions about Islamophobia resonated a lot to me as a Jew. So I left those sessions with a real sense of like both catharsis and no separation anymore between the two concepts. Like they were really just one feeling that we all shared.
That opportunity to share and to learn, I think for most people might not have a solution to the conflict in the Middle East, but I think the purpose for me with Newground was never to solve the conflict, but rather to address how to work together here in Los Angeles.
The extremists on 10% on each side, so most people want to see peace, they want to see this ending, but it's the extremes that are perpetuating this struggle.
We did all sit down and talk to each other about the conflict itself. Everyone was keeping an open mind. I was very surprised about that. I was shocked to see that that people were being that open-minded to this conversation.
And I realized that I also am directly connected to this conflict as a Jew and also as an American, and that it's my responsibility, therefore, to be a direct part of the healing and the moving forward from this tragic history that we share.
You know, I'm a Muslim, but I never really understood why there was so much rift, and I knew kind of the generic reasoning, but to hear these personal stories from my fellow Muslims was really inspiring.
And I felt alone in wanting to do my project before, when I'd been thinking about it for the last 6 or 7 months, and to realize that there were other people that cared as deeply as I did about the issues and were willing to put their time, their effort into it, was my aha moment, that this is what it is when people actually open up and they bond. And they realize that they have common goals and that they're not that different.
To educate each other about these concepts, because that will help us with bridging the gap and making sure that we are on the same page when it comes to resolving the conflict or coming with resolutions that will impact the lives of people who are living in such circumstances.
To realize that I came in with preconceived notions, and that I was way off, and that it's stuff that I was like raised with about, Jewish faith or, Jews or whatever. and to like kind of let that go and take in with a clean slate what I learned from my Jewish fellows.